Good morning and hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Andrew, the High Performance Call, Monday through Friday, noon Eastern, live. If you don't catch it live, as always, we are able to get it here on YouTube. Like, comment, share, all that kind of fun stuff below. The calls are always up about 7-8 hours after they go live. If you've missed the last couple of days, then I recommend going back and watching. Slides are going to go out later today. But the whole purpose of this is to help you guys take that next step, to take it in a number of different ways. So what I want to talk about, we're going to kind of wrap up this series today on success. This is the equation that I gave you guys as we were discussing success yesterday. Time, effort, expertise, investment, passion, and focus minus resistance and distractions. And then your opportunity, timing, vehicle, quality, and team. Now, at some point, we're going to talk about developing a team. We're going to talk about people coming and going from that team. We're going to talk about quality, and we'll talk about the opportunities. There are the elements along the top: the time, effort, expertise, investment, passion, focus. Those are the givens. But the resistance and distractions, the reasons that you haven't done it yet, that's what I want to talk about. The resistance and the distractions. So before we kick off, what I'd like you to do, and if you guys are watching on the replay, then pause this. But what I want you to do, guys, everybody, hopefully you have a pen and paper. And if you don't, then I want you to think about it. I want you to write down the 3 big reasons that right now you haven't been able to attain what you're looking for. 3 reasons that you think have stood in your way, why you haven't been able to achieve yet what it is that you are after. What's kept you from your definition of success, not mine. Right? What's kept you from getting to, and this is where happiness, and we'll get into that kind of came up from one of the comments yesterday about, achieving success as we've defined it and still not feeling any kind of fulfillment. And so that's a whole other conversation training that we'll get into. But what I want to know is what has kept you at this point from attaining whatever it is that you're going after. So go ahead, take a minute and jot that down. Now, if you want to talk about, well, I lost this job, or I'm busy, or I've got this going on, or I haven't learned how to, or this was this distraction, or that got in the way. I want to know what you feel. And if you'd like to share some, you're welcome to, but this list is especially for you. What's kept you from attaining success to this point? Okay. Let me know when you've got that. I don't have the Jeopardy music to play right now, so hopefully you guys have that up. All right. Everybody's got it? 3 things, quick. And look, we shouldn't have to spend too much time writing some of these down. Odds are you know them right off the top. These are the things that become pretty easy for us to say. Hi, how you doing? I'm doing great. I would have accomplished this, except I just can't do it right now because procrastination, weak self-discipline, hesitation, avoidance. Ooh, there we go. Andrew, thank you for being brave, my man. Must be something with the name. Appreciate you sharing. All right, let's look at these a little bit. So here's a couple of them. Perfect excuses to avoid success. How many of you guys have used these? Like, it's just too hard. You don't know where to start. Maybe your finances aren't in order. I would, but my money. I would, but it's the time with my family. My family needs me more right now. We're going through a lot. There's too much going on. Andrew, you just don't understand that right now. I've got a lot going on behind, my curtain and this and that. And there's just too much. I'm too old. I'm too young. I haven't been there yet. Right? There's so much in my life I still want to do. I'm just tired. I work a lot. I'm drained. Maybe I'm just not enough. Maybe I'm not built to be able to do this. Or, this is just, honestly, it's a little below me. I would be able to, but I've got this degree or this job or that job, or I'm more important in my family than you realize, or in this person's life or that person's life. Some great excuses to help you avoid success. So please, if you haven't used these yet, go ahead and write them down. If you're going through life and you're going, man, I just don't have a valid excuse, here's some pretty good ones. There you go. Time, distractions, consistency, lack of clarity, overwhelmed with too many options. There you go. All right, good. All right. So everybody else, if you're lacking some excuses, and all of you guys are awesome and you're here all the time. So I hope I can pick on you a little bit and nobody's going to be too upset. But, looking at everything, you go, okay, well, so where do you go? All right. So here's a couple of perfect responses, that you just aren't treating success seriously enough. I so wish I could do that. Man, I'm jealous. I would love to spend some time in Paris, Italy, Mexico, on vacation in the Grand Canyon, at home, whatever. I would just love to quit my job, but I really wish I could spend more time at the gym, spend more time at home, eat, be healthier, do this more, do that more. It would be nice to have more money, more time with my family, more free time, less stress, less this, right? So if you haven't used these yet and you're looking for a reason, you want to justify some things, please take note, write them down. I've used these a lot. I know they work. Okay. I know people, if you're willing to use these excuses, people will commiserate with you. They will say, Andrew, you're so right. I'm a little jealous of so-and-so as well. I mean, I'd love to spend, but that's just not for us little people. I'd quit my job too, but I just can't do it. I've been doing it for so long and I just don't know what else I would do, And, it would be nice to have more monies, but you know what they say, more money, more problems. I'd have to pay more taxes. Oh my gosh, if I earned more money, what would I do about my unemployment or my Social Security or, I can't do that. Right? So in case you guys are needing some, here's some great excuses and here's some awesome responses if you're really worried about success getting to you and you want to make sure that you put up a real strong block for it. Okay? Does everybody have those? Everybody got them written down? Everybody already have them kind of memorized because maybe you've been using them a little bit too much yourself. Obviously, a bit of tongue in cheek there, a little bit of sarcasm. For some of you guys that may be a little bit new and you're wondering what the hell is going on, I know my humor doesn't always come across, but understanding, how many times have you said some of these things? Because we've all used them, right? We have all used them. One of the biggest farces that our current system has all across the world, this isn't just here in the States. One of the biggest, I think, lies that we're taught is that we only use 10 or 20% of our brain capacity, right? Now, it may be true. I know we're capable of more. So I'm not downplaying that piece of this talk. But what happens a lot of times is you're in school and they say, you'd be able to, you got so much more potential. You just haven't, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. I remember very clearly in second grade, reading the report card that was meant for my parents. And I was like, probably a lot of you, like I didn't know it, but I had ADHD. And part of the reason I didn't realize that I had it is because I was able to get everything and I would do it. And I just wouldn't do the homework because I knew I could sit down for a test. And I can test out with hardly studying at all, right? It's just the way I'm wired. And I understand some people study, and they struggle with tests. And so I'm not downplaying. We're just all wired differently. And I figured that out real early. Right? The school system isn't set up to create geniuses or to help you get to the most potential. It's set up to help you get through the school system, right? And we can all agree with that. It's set up to help you get ready for work. It's set up so that you can get through like an 8 to 3 day with a couple of 15-minute recess breaks and lunch so you can get ready for a 9 to 5 job later when you work. And so that you can get used to taking directions from a teacher, that will tell you exactly what you need to do, that will give you projects that have to be set in by a certain deadline, right? That's what school is for. Comment? Somebody popping in?
Yes. It doesn't matter where you go, what university, what school, what employment place, what a government place you go to. Everything is set up just to do for you enough to they don't even teach you surviving skill. The individual, human, man, woman, they have to do their self to get going out there.
Yeah,
Follow, do whatever it takes to become successful.
Yeah, it's so, and I know people that understand sociology and everything much deeper than I can get in, and you know, but school is set up, forget the patriarchy and everything else. The reason that school is set up so that whoever is in power is able to create a citizenship that has just enough skills to make the overall level more productive, to keep those in power doing better, right? So it's not set up for us and for our best interest. So this comment of you're only, you know, living up to 10% or whatever, let's kind of set that aside. Let's not worry about that. You know, it was interesting as I was prepping for this, I saw one of those pictures today, you know, the picture, and I think I've shown it before, where it's all of the animals are sitting in the forest, and there's the elephant and there's the fish and there's the monkey and the rhinoceros and the alligator and everything else. And they say, okay, your test for today is to see how fast you can climb that tree. And if you can't climb that tree, then, you know, you're not going to pass the class. And so the monkey's all super excited, and the elephant's looking at him going, what the hell are you talking about? And the fish in the fish bowl is like, well, apparently I must be an idiot, right? They put us through school with all the same testing and all the same ideas, and we go through, and really we all have all of these other capabilities. And so this idea of 10%, let's set that aside. And what I want you to understand is that right now, at any given moment, you are at 100%. You have attained 100% of what your mindset has allowed you to attain. Okay? Where you are at currently is 100% of what your mindset has allowed you to attain. Now, there are certain distractions or certain obstacles that we place in our way that limits our mindset. But you are at 100% of whatever your mindset has allowed you to attain. Now, there are certain quotes out there, and you can go find them. And it might have been Jim Rohn that said it, but you're essentially that you're never going to earn beyond your level of personal development, right?
That's right.
At least not for long. You may luck into something, but sooner or later the truth comes and you're not going to be able to maintain that. So we're not looking for I'm not trying to help you guys understand the equation for success so you can succeed once. I'm not trying to help you understand the equation for success so you can stumble into a sale or two. I want you to understand the definition of success so you can define success and go out and get it for yourself. And that's what we're trying to do. And so looking at the distractions and obstacles, I think that's one of the biggest ones is we create all of these excuses ourselves and all of these responses to kind of temper things, but we don't understand that we have this mindset ceiling, and every single day we are at 100% of our mindset ceiling. And we've got our performance and achievement is what pushes us towards that. And we can work on those things. But what we need to do if we want to achieve success, if you want to break through some of those distractions and the resistance and all of these things that you guys wrote down for yourself, those top 3 things, you need to find a way to go from mindset ceiling to mindset ceiling, your next 100% level, that next level of growth, breaking through from one to the next. Whatever obstacle is there, and if it's procrastination, that's one of the big things. That's one we're going to talk a little bit more about today. It's so interesting when we look at this. Truly, you've got to understand, and here's the thing, guys, and I've said this before, I know I'm preaching to the choir. I know I'm talking to you guys because you're the ones that are here and wanting to better yourself. And oftentimes the people that need it just as much or maybe more aren't the ones that are here. They're not willing to listen, right? But it's kind of like we're all fruit. You know, maybe they're just not ripe enough yet. But what you've got to do is make sure that you take advantage and stay in that ripe cycle as long as possible and continue to nurture yourself and your mindset and everything else so that you can continue to grow from mindset ceiling to mindset ceiling.
Timing, right? Sometimes
timing is part of it.
It happened to me. Sometimes you're not ready or right, or timing is not right. You're not hearing the message from the coach, but you should be hearing it sometime.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's because of the excuses or the other distractions that we put in place that it's not necessary. Oftentimes, now at times the timing is out of our hands. I will absolutely admit that. Oftentimes the timing isn't right because we don't allow it to be right. Mindset is about being in the familiar psychological fact that our human nature fears what is not familiar. Absolutely. right? The chief cause of failure and unhappiness is trading what you want most for what you want right now. There you go. All right, here we go. Let's talk a little bit more about this. So one of those excuses, and this is something that I think is always interesting. People complain about being busy, but they resist giving up their busyness because it's become their identity. People, complain about, well, I can't because I procrastinate, or I'm too busy, or I'm working, or my family, or money, or this or that. So pull out the word busy or being busy and put in there whatever of these excuses that we talked about, right? I don't, people complain about not knowing where to start, but they're unwilling to give that up because then it removes some of the identity. It removes their excuse. If you start removing excuses, it doesn't allow you to play into the victim anymore. I would have changed my job, but I would have gotten out of that relationship, but I would have gotten into the relationship, except it doesn't allow me to continue the narrative. Occasionally, I ask people after a rant of excuses, because I have used all of these, but I also hear them all the time. Occasionally, I just ask someone how long has that been the narrative? And when are you going to be willing to change it? Think about how long those 3 excuses that you wrote down, how long have you been telling that to yourself? And when is it going to be time to change? Look, your biggest procrastinations are typically telling you the most important thing that you need to work on. Okay. Typically, that's what they're telling you. Now, here's the funny thing about procrastination. I was looking up some articles and some ideas, and I've got a longer in-depth training. We'll look at full procrastination breakthrough on a further date. But I was looking them up, and the first one that came up, turning procrastination around. So here's a couple of ideas, and I'll get you these slides, guys. So if you want them, but look at planning out the rest of your day can help you avoid procrastination. Break the project down to smaller pieces, maybe clean something so you're eliminating clutter, tackle the simplest part of your work for the day so you can gain momentum, take a walk or do other exercises to clear your mind, maybe talk to people because that can help you be distracted some to bring in some creativity. Maybe you automate something, it'll help you move it forward. Here's the thing. Show of hands or in the comments. How many of you guys are self-professed procrastinators? How many of you guys? A lot of us. Okay. Now, I fit in that. Absolutely. I want you to look at this list again. If I'm a procrastinator, what every single one of these activities here, what does it allow me to do? Anybody? It allows me to procrastinate. That's what it lets me do.
How so?
Because if I know what I'm procrastinating and I sit down and I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes planning out the rest of my day and all of the other activities that will take up my time, then I don't have to do the thing I know I need to do. If I'm going to break the project down into smaller pieces, what does that mean? It means I'm going to look for the simplest thing to do and I'm going to go do that. Cleaning something? Really? What does cleaning have to do with me getting my stuff done? All that is like, especially, look, over the last 12 months, we all started working from home. Okay. How often, how difficult would it be for you to find something to clean in your house right now? Anybody? You got pets? Oh, there's always hair. There's always something. That drawer, the closet, the laundry never ever ends. How many times have you had to, do the laundry, run it through for the second or the third time you got to put it through the wash because you never got around to doing other things, right? All day long. This is what it turns into, tackling the simplest part so I can avoid the difficult one. Oh, you know what I really need to do? I need to go for a walk. Maybe I just need, I'm going to call George and we're just going to chat a little bit about it. I'm going to say, what are you working on? How are things on your end? Oh my gosh, that project? Yeah, I've got something that I've been working on too, putting so much time and effort into it. Oh my gosh, I just haven't been able to finish it yet. I'm not sure what's keeping me from doing it, right? Guys, I was reading this article and I went, I just started laughing because I'm like, this is hilarious. Now, it was great because at the end of the article, the author ended up admitting, I'm a big procrastinator, and honestly, all of these things can help me just procrastinate better, and so it's totally worth it, right? Yeah, I spent forever creating the lists and then lists of lists, and then I need to create a list of this other task that's on my second list, and then it turns into this outline that's numbered down 1A, etc., Roman numerals, all sorts of other stuff. Yeah, Ernie, kids are absolutely messier than the dog. But so here, this was great. So at the end of this article, and I'm laughing, and I went, oh, okay, so he was meaning to be a little tongue in cheek there. And then this other one came up, and it was 100% serious. Let me teach you how to turn around your procrastination. Let me teach you how to avoid being a procrastinator. Take time to organize your office, cleaning, get dressed. Okay, laundry, same thing, right? Change your clothes. Pray. Oh, well, pray, meditate. Okay, great. I'm not saying don't do those things, but that's how I'm going to avoid procrastination. Give yourself a deadline, reward that follows. That one I can get with, right? Now, just start with 10 headings or emails. I get that because I'm starting to create some activity. Making your bed, something I need to do. But look, if it's 11 o'clock, because I made my bed at 11:30 today, it didn't mean that I didn't get other stuff done. I just didn't do it first thing. It's not because I was procrastinating. I was just working, right? Now, and then understanding that some amount of procrastination is good for creativity. I thought it was so hilarious that these other things where the author's like, hey, this is going to help me procrastinate more, was almost the exact same identical list as someone else that was giving real world ideas on how to avoid procrastination. Now, there is a way to break through, and I know we've got some people that could share some of those things as well, and we'll get into it. The key with all of this, guys, is just understanding if I'm a procrastinator, and I know I am. So what do? I look for ways to take care of the simple tasks that are what I call them, because when I was in restoration and construction, I just call them $10 an hour tasks, right? They're stuff that I'm not trying to be an employee. If I can get stuff automated, get stuff done, get stuff outsourced, whatever, that's going to allow me to concentrate on the bigger stuff that I don't enjoy, but I need to do, because there's stuff I don't enjoy that I can get done. And there's no reason to procrastinate around those things. But the big stuff that you need to do, you need to just do. And other than becoming super clear and finding clarity with what success means for you and what your goal is in any given task, other than being super clear, there's not a whole lot that's going to let you just tackle that. Now, what I've kind of learned, I've talked to you guys a little bit that over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, I'm kind of rebranding, and I'm thinking of some different things, and I'm prepping more content, not just for you guys, but to be able to offer in general out into the public. I've come to realize that clarity, as much as I push it, and I think one of the biggest reasons that I push it, and this comes from, I've told you guys, I'm studying human design. I did the Colby test. I'm doing Strength Finders 2.0 again, looking at all sorts of different things, sitting down and looking at myself, talking with a couple of people as coaches and mentors, helping me come to the understanding that one reason I search after this stuff so much is because sometimes clarity is a little elusive. And it can be, and that's okay. Some of you guys were talking about how one reason that you procrastinate, or one excuse that you have for not achieving something, is because clarity hasn't quite been there. I can get mostly clear. I know certain things that absolutely those are non-negotiables. These are just there. I've got to go after them. And hopefully you've got some goals like that too. Hopefully you've got some dreams and ambitions that are, I'm going to chase this no matter what. But guys, occasionally some of these other goals that you might have and some of the other ambitions that you have may be, a 7 or an 8 on the clarity scale. It doesn't mean that you don't commit to them. It means that occasionally you are reacting as much as being proactive. But the key to both of those is action. If you sit and you examine too much and never do anything, then nothing comes about. because there isn't a perfect time to start. There's never going to be a moment where obstacles don't exist. There isn't a moment where life gets out of the way, where family allows you to just totally do everything that you want to do, where the money is totally perfect, where there's no obstacle, right? If you're talking about getting in shape, there's going to be days that you're too tired to go to the gym. Or if you're in certain areas, I know some places all around the country this week went from 60, 70, 80 degrees to snowing overnight. And you're going, what the hell is happening? I was planning on walking, but now I'm going to walk. So I'm going to do a couple of push-ups and sit-ups at home. But we all know well and good that the couple of push-ups and sit-ups aren't nearly as much as what you would have done if you'd gone out. And what I really need to do is get up off of my butt and get myself down to the gym and do the extra cardio and the extra work so that I don't have the excuse 2 months from now and saying, why didn't I get it done? And it's simply because I was unwilling to push myself through the obstacles that are there. See, no one that has attained success consistently has not pushed through inconvenient moments. This business, your life, your relationships, your health, any of these things, it would be awesome if everything was convenient, but it's just not. So if you're telling yourself any of those excuses that I listed, you need to stop and go, okay, I can't allow those to be the excuses, or you need to refigure what you think success is, or it's got to be a bigger dream so that you give yourself a reason to overcome the excuses and to push yourself through. Because they're going to keep coming up. Days are going to be inconvenient. Frustrations will mount. There are good times. There are some amazing moments, right? And I don't want to, say that it's all a struggle, but there's a process to get to those moments. You've got to be willing to celebrate the small stuff. That's why we've started talking about some wins, and hopefully you guys have them. Right? Hopefully you guys are celebrating the small wins that you have, the small achievements, the little things each and every day. Get it going, right? Be consistent each and every day. The more consistent that you are, the better off things will be. So instead of, and I've talked about this before, instead of just making a list, your to-do list, sit down at night and make a gratitude or accomplishment list. This is what I got done. Right? This is what I'm going to accomplish. And then push yourself to go get there. So a little later on, I probably end of this week, I'm going to give you how to break through into the breakthrough procrastination and take things to that next level. And do some amazing things for yourself. And on that note, go out, have an amazing day, rock and roll, rise from the ashes, fly like the phoenixes that you are.